Hi, my name is Melissa Hildebrandt. Today I am here with Dr. Joyce Brown, the president here at FIT, and we're about to talk about the Civility campaign, what Civility is here at FIT. So thank you so much for being with us, Dr. Joyce.
My pleasure.
So I just want to know, in your opinion, what does civility mean to you?
Well, it's a little hard to say out of context what civility as a standalone might mean to me, but I think civility is very important because it connotes respect. It really sets a tone for how people interact. I think it sets a tone for the community and how we interact with each other, and it really does connote a kind of inclusiveness and tolerance for difference. And I think that's very important. And I think it can guide our behavior as a community, and we need to focus on it. I don't know that it happens just on its own without any recognition that it's important.
Absolutely. And like in everyday society, we've seen tons of, a lot of disasters and, signs of like disrespect. Like have there been certain instances maybe in society that you think civility could solve?
Well, I think when you have I think as a society, we're going through a bit of a tumultuous time. There's a lot of very major issues that are, in the forefront, and people are talking about them, and people have very strong feelings about them. So I think it's a good example of how things might be moderated if, in fact, we were to take a more civil tone, if we were to be more tolerant of different opinions, if we could understand that we can disagree, but we don't have to be disagreeable about it, and that we don't have to resort to kind of crass and crude behavior. It really doesn't solve anything. It's not going to convince anybody of another point of view, and what it does is it sort of poisons the atmosphere. So I think there are many large events that happen that we see this as an example. And my hope is that as a community we can send out ambassadors that have the intellectual ability, capacity, and understanding of the impact of their behavior on other people.
Absolutely. And why do you think civility is such an important concept here at the campus at FIT?
Well, we're a very diverse community, which I think is one of our strengths. We have students, students and faculty and staff from all walks of life, all regions, geographic regions, ethnicity, beliefs, gender identification. So there's many things that we can learn from each other. There's many things that the experience of coexisting in a community with people with such different points of view can teach us. I think it prepares our students for working in a very global marketplace. I think we ought to be role models for that. So I think at many levels it's very important in any community, but certainly on a college campus and the community that we build together.
Right, I totally agree. That's precisely why I came to the school, because of the diversity, and I love it.
That's
and in what ways do you think has FIT been able to foster a climate of civility?
Well, there's always more work to do. So I think we've started a campaign where, first of all, there's dialogue, and that's important, because if you don't recognize that there's something to be worked on, shall we say, it's not going to just happen by itself serendipitously. So we've identified a campaign. I see you're wearing your button. I'm wearing mine. And it's just sort of a recognition that we think it's important. We've had like forums where people can come and express their feelings about it, or about incidents that they've endured or lived through and they think are very telling and educational for others to understand the impact on an individual when they hear or see certain things that, people might really, if they're not in touch with their own feelings about something, or not in touch with the fact that there might be another point of view that has some value, they can really be ignorant of the impact of either their words or their demeanor on another person. So we've issued a pledge. People in the community have taken the pledge. We have the pins, we have the forums, we have a dialogue. I think it all kind of seeds the ground for, for it to take hold and hopefully infiltrate all of our interactions on the campus.
Right, and of course, along with that campaign, in what other ways do you think that not just the FIT students, but the faculty and the staff, what other ways can they practice civility?
I think, again, I think owning your behavior is the first step in any of this. So I think self-reflection, if people are willing to do that, and sort of a demeanor that will allow them to think before they speak, to kind of put themselves in another's shoes. And there's a lot of different levels of relationship in a community like ours. There's different authority figures. There's just a different vibration that one can pick up on. You have faculty to student, you have student to faculty, you have supervisors, you have staff, you have faculty who are in charge in that classroom, and so there's a certain level of respect that goes both ways, actually, in that kind of environment where people are supposed to be open to learning and teaching and learning and dialogue. So I think there's many ways that that people can sort of live the message. But the first thing really is to own your own behavior and to understand that it may not be what you meant, but it is how it was received. And you have to own that and then try and perhaps talk through it and make sure that you don't leave people sort of feeling that they are of less value in our community or in that interaction or in that relationship than anyone else.
That's great.
So.
That's wonderful. And where can students or faculty go to join this campaign?
Oh, well, we have a Chief Diversity Officer who is very open and welcoming and has a council that he works with, and people can join the council. Certainly in my office, we are all, very much behind the effort and work very closely with the diversity officer. The union here on campus ran a forum, and many faculty came and talked. So I think there's many avenues. I would hope that there wouldn't be anyone who tried to understand more or be more involved that couldn't find their way. But I think those are three areas that are good pathways for now.
Excellent, excellent. So. And any last statements you want to make?
I think that it's very important to me that that we have a respectful community, that there's learning on all levels, not just in the classroom, and that people really will buy in a way that they're really ambassadors for civility, for graciousness, for understanding, for listening well, and that we sort of impart that to our students in addition to what we teach and expect them to learn as an outcome in the classes. Because, all of you we're sending you out to run the industries of the world. We're sending you out. You're the next leaders of all of these companies and colleges and other kinds of institutions. And you really, at the top, you get to set the tone. So I think this work is very, very critical and important. I'm very dedicated to it, and I'm really looking forward to being able to send all of you out as deputized to set a wonderful tone wherever it is you're spending your time.
That's excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Brown, for joining us today.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. And thank you all so much for joining us. I'm Melissa Hildebrandt, and we'll see you next time.